Men of War number 2, written by Ivan Brandon, art by Tom Derenick. We left last issue. Joseph Rock just had his sergeant die and was made Sergeant Rock after his death. I suppose that's something he can do. And this issue pretty much picks up right afterwards, except flash forward because for some reason Sergeant Rock is being lifted into the stratosphere. And then there's just no explanation for that. We get a flashback of his entire life as he's experiencing, like life flashing before his eyes. He's 5 years old and life isn't great. He's 22. He's getting married. He's 23. His wife is dead. And he's 25 and they're carrying through the jungle on a blanket because that's what's happening right now. Basically, couple of flashbacks, but then he gets to a point where he's regaining consciousness. All of his men in his troop are calling him Sergeant, because now he's the one in charge of things, and I guess somehow they knew he was made Sergeant. It's a little unclear on that. But they just explain the situation. They're in a local house of some local kid. They named him Seymour, but he's constantly got a gun aimed at him because he doesn't totally trust them, but he's willing to help them out, I guess. Everyone's a little confused by that situation. They're grateful to Seymour, but they keep on trying to figure out, okay, what do we do next? What do we do about that thing that was flying around the city, destroying buildings and setting stuff on fire? Sergeant Rock realizes that's not their job. That's not what they're here for. They're here to rescue the senator. That's their only thing to deal with. But, they do have to avoid that if necessary. And right at that moment, Seymour, his glasses explode more or less from a sniper rifle way far away. They all take cover. Their sniper on their team's trying to get a lock on him in order to fight back. Sergeant Rock takes some adrenaline in the form of an EpiPen in order to get going so he can fight. He tells Seymour, stay here, don't take your gun. We're going to go out and we're going to do our job. So they go out, they go to wherever, I guess they realize the senator is being kept. They take some non-lethal routes in order to get in, and then some... He says that he uses a flashbang, and it's a room with the senator in it. So I assume it's a non-lethal thing. He was just stunning the people in there. But then he immediately follows it with him saying it's a sponge grenade, which I have to assume is just a normal grenade. Maybe I'm wrong. He doesn't totally explain it here. He does do a good job of explaining a lot of military terms. Like he says the NLCS makes less noise than a bullet. And then it says asterisk. NLCS stands for non-lethal capability set. Like it does a good job explaining it to someone like me who has no idea. But anyway, they're in the room. They have the senator. They're like, all right, cool. Let's call it in and get the hell out of here. But then the room starts getting darker. And it's not by like any means they can understand. And this woman draped in a red cloak appears and says, like, what bad decision has led you guys here? And Sergeant Rock's like, hey, we're not here to harm you or your people. And he's like, oh, I don't have any people. And she takes Sergeant Rock and flashback to the beginning of the issue, drags him up into the stratosphere, where he's still able to breathe. She names herself as Cersei, or rather, she says that's what her mother called her. She asks Sergeant Rock what his name is. He says Joe Rock. And she's like, cool. So, if you or your people ever come here and ever try to bring your peace here again, they are not going to leave. Tell your senator that. Tell your leaders that. Tell your people that. And he's like, I'm just a soldier. I don't know what you want from me. He's like, I want you to do the thing I just said. So, she drops him back down to earth. He snaps back to consciousness. They're already on a helicopter flying back to the States, so he has no idea how he got there. The senator's looking around him terrified, but they're just like, whew, all right, at least that's over. Cut to a week later, where I guess they dropped off all the soldiers and then were taking the senator elsewhere, and then he just died, and everything else just caught on fire. Even the black box is gone. And they're like, all right, so they wouldn't have kept the senator alive in that hellhole just to kill him 5,000 miles away. So clearly this is something else. Clearly we have problems. End of issue. I like it. It's if they're going to continue running with this arc, then I'm good with it. If this is where we leave things, then I'm not. It's strange in that it's conditional on what's going on in the future like that, because it doesn't seem like an ending towards anything we've really done so far. Like the first issue I praised for being so real, it's just real people in like a superhero's world. The second issue, it still has that, but it's, I don't know, it's feeling more comfortable with it. Like the fact that Cersei just picks up Rock and is just like, okay, yeah, you don't have to worry about this. You know, you just dragged up into the stratosphere. It just happens. It's a Tuesday. I don't know. That feels a bit off to me. But if we're continuing forward with them doing like another mission to find out what the hell is actually going on here, I'd be more okay with it. Also, one thing I didn't mention last issue, this book was published with backup stories. It's about like a Navy SEAL thing, and it 100% has nothing to do with any superheroes. I will not be covering the backup stories unless I think they're absolutely crucial and I actually have access to them. But yeah, just letting you know it's there. As for this issue, the art's pretty much the same as the last one. It's very good. I like the way they do the flashback sections. It really gives a different feel to it. And Cersei is very well done. She really stands out amongst all the browns and grays. So overall, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it a 6. It's got some issues. It's got some iffy parts, but overall, it's good. I like what it's doing with it. It's still picking up some good stuff. Not as strong as the first issue in my eyes. Kind of a letdown there because I was really looking forward to this, but it is still a good issue. So that's Men of War number 2.